Well, hello, DCO Nation, and welcome back to another DCO Live. It is Thursday night. I am freezing cold. You can see I am layered up. I don't know why I'm so cold. I have just been chilled like all week long. I cannot get warm. It's like my feet are staying ice cold right now. So, those of you who are not in South Carolina, we are experiencing some pretty crazy weather right now. We are expecting some snow this weekend and some pretty frigid weather. We just came off of a round of, we were supposed to get an ice storm. Luckily, knocking on some wood, we did not get any ice here at the beach. But I know like the upper state did. They got snowed in. They got a lot of ice, and I think there was a little bit of a power outage way up north into the upstate, but the power stayed on and everything was pretty good. But guys, I tell you, the weather has just been dominating the news and pretty much everybody's talk right now. So this week, the one thing that I wanted to kind of kick off the show with, before I do that, Steve, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, I think you were always the first one on. I really appreciate you jumping on. Brian, Small Craft Angler is on. Tony, you're on. Good to see you guys. I know there's some other people out there watching, but I opened up my email earlier on this week, and I got a little notice, which some of you may have got the same notice, from the North Carolina Marine Fisheries Division, and they sent out a report kind of wanting some people's help. Everett just jumped on. How you doing, buddy? So basically, the report says that the Fisheries Division asked the public to report cold stunned trout. So here is the actual report that came out right there. That's what I got in my email. And you guys can go over to, the Marine Fisheries Division there in North Carolina, and you guys can read it. But they're talking about the cold stunned event that could possibly happen. So I printed it off and I kind of read through it, and I want to just kind of read a little bit of it. I'm not going to read this entire report. You guys can go look at it. But it basically says that the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality Division of Marine Fisheries wants to remind the public to report any cold stunned trout they may see in North Carolina coastal waters. It goes on to say, during the winter, trout move into relatively shallow creeks and rivers, and they can be vulnerable to cold stun events. So I want to kind of stop right there for a second. So what is a cold stun event? What happens to these fish when we get these prolonged, week-long lows in the 20s, highs maybe in the 30s? So what actually is like a cold stun event? So this is kind of I don't know if you really want to call it a definition, but this is what I found. It says a cold stun event for spotted sea trout occurs when water temperatures drop below a point that a fish cannot withstand. This can happen due to a sudden drop in temperature or prolonged periods of cold air temperatures. So when water temperatures fall below 45 degrees, trout may become lethargic and unresponsive, leading to potential death. Okay, so that's kind of what a cold stun event is. So when, the Marine Fisheries Division, when they're talking about cold stun event, that's what they're talking about. Okay, so it goes on. Let me see. So these events may have the potential to occur when there are sudden drops in temperature, okay, which we just talked about. So it says, studies suggest that cold stun events can significantly reduce spotted sea trout populations as many stunned fish die from the cold or are eaten by birds and other predators. However, some fish do survive the cold stun event. So coastal North Carolina is experiencing weather conditions that could result in a cold stun event occurring in coastal rivers and creeks. The division staff look for cold stunned fish following periods of cold and are and or winter weather and investigates reports from the public whenever possible. So I want to stop right there. So they do report anything from the public that is called in. And in this document that you see on the screen, it does have some telephone numbers, and it does have a um, website and an email, so that if you guys are up in North Carolina, and a lot of the North Carolina watchers of this, if you guys do see, dead, stunned trout, whatever, go ahead and report it to the Marine Fisheries Division so that they can come out and check things out. I always say, at the end of a lot of my shows, conservation starts with you. If we want our fisheries to survive, thrive, for the next generation, these are things that we need to take onto ourselves and be proactive with, and report anything that we do see. So, I again, with the weather being in the forefront, things like these are starting to come out. I do remember, and some of you guys, please refresh my memory. I can't remember if it was last winter or 2 winters ago. North Carolina did have a stun event, and they actually shut down the trout fishing. It was only catch and release. You could only release fish. You couldn't keep any trout, and I think it was for like the first 6 months of the year. So they will shut down the trout fishery if there is a stunned event, to let these trout spawn, repopulate, and so that we can keep our fisheries healthy. So again, guys, I wanted to kind of touch on that tonight, because it's right in our face. So I wasn't going to talk weekend weather until kind of the end of the show here, but right now I'm seeing snow for the beach for Saturday and Sunday. I don't think it's supposed to creep into Monday, but definitely, weekend, we're looking for snow. And I'm sure there's been all kinds of ranges today. I think I heard like 2 to 4 inches, but you guys know it changes day by day, hour by hour. Just know that we're going to get some snow, but it's really the temperatures that are, really concerning. I'm seeing low temperatures in the middle to low teens. So, that's really going to drop this water temperature. And, if you think back to the kind of the definition that I just read, and it says this can happen due to a sudden drop in temperature or prolonged periods of cold air temperatures. Well, that's kind of what we're experiencing right now. So I'm starting to see maybe a little bit of a break in the weather. I think maybe like mid next week, that Wednesday, Thursday next week, I think I'm starting to maybe see some 50s starting to creep in. So hopefully this polar blast that they're calling it will blow through here. We'll get back to a little bit normal temperatures, and I can get back out on the water. Let me know if you guys have been out on the water, if you guys have been braving the cold weather. Give me a thumbs up in the comments if you guys have, been out on the water or tried to get out. I know that it has been, I'm pushing a month right now of not being out on the water. It just seems like every weekend that, I want to get out and do some fishing, the weather has been bad, or the wind is blowing 20, 25 miles an hour, and I can't get out. So yeah, it has just been crazy weather. I'm gonna pull this off of the screen real quick here. And United by Water, good to see you. I think I've missed you the last couple of weeks, but it says we got a massive cold front in Florida about 3 or 4 years ago. I'm in Central Florida. It killed a lot of snook. So yeah, man, it happens. Yeah, Steve popped something up here. It said we had a fish kill last year because of the cold. thankfully it didn't hurt them too bad. Yeah. So it was last year. So I couldn't exactly remember if it was a year or two ago, but yeah, it is definitely something that, we need to watch, and hopefully that, it doesn't happen this year. So hopefully it blows through, and the fish do all right, and they survive. So but yeah, the weather is the big topic right now. One of the things that I put into the thumbnail was, what do you guys do to scratch your winter fishing itch when you can't get out? Like I was saying earlier, it has been a month, since I have been out on the water. I think my kayak is the cleanest it has been in 3 years, man. I go out and I'm organizing tackle. I got a new Yak Attack, the black pack. I got the 16 by 16 black pack. I've been buying gear. I've been buying lures. I tell you what, if this bad weather keeps up, I'm going to be broke. My wife, Lefty, will probably leave me because I'm spending everything on fishing gear right now. Because I mean, what else is there to do when you can't get out on the water? You have to do something. And I've got all my reels right here. I got a couple more behind me that I've been oiling up and taking apart and making sure that everything is in good shape, because the maintenance, I'm horrible at maintenance in my reels. It is something that I should probably do. I don't even know how often. I should probably get on like the Daiwa or the Pin website and see how often you should probably go on and oil up these things. But I probably do it about every 3 to 4 months. And they do really well. I've had this Daiwa Legalis right here, which gosh, I think when I bought it, it cost maybe $70, and highly, highly impressed with this reel. It has held up. This thing looks brand new. You can see how easy and smooth this thing is. I am absolutely impressed with it. I am not sponsored by Daiwa at all, but I tell you what, for a budget saltwater reel, it is absolutely, absolutely awesome. You guys know the pin battles. Again, I've had this one probably pushing 4 years, and just as smooth today as the day I bought it. So, just good general maintenance on these will keep these things lasting forever. There's no corrosion on this. After I get off the water, I am good at spraying down my reels. When I'm cleaning up my kayak, I use a product called D-Salt from betterboats.com, and I spray it down, and then I rinse it off with water. Now, I'm not doing a hard spray on my reels. I'm just kind of wetting it down and knocking the salt off of my rod and reels. And I tell you, it goes a long way. So, again, as far as, I'm going to call it big routine maintenance, tearing down the reels and getting into it, I'm probably 3, 4 months, probably pushing 5 months, before I end up and tearing these things down. I know you should probably do it more often. I use a product called Real Butter. The label fell off of this one, but I've had that for several years. I only put like 1 drop on any of the gears or the little bearings that I take apart. I do the reel here. I pull this apart. On the bail, the little roller, I'm sorry, I've got it blocked by the camera here, but the little roller right here, I undo this screw here, pull that off, put a little drop in here. I pull the spool off. I wipe down the shaft. I put a drop of oil in there. So yeah, that's the only thing I've done. I have never taken it to anybody to have them tear it apart and grease it. Again, the way that these things are reacting, and these are totally sealed off, I don't think they really need to be greased. I mean, that is just as smooth as anything else. I'm not hearing any grinding noise. I'm not hearing anything that is telling me, hey, I've got to take this in and get it tearing apart and greased up. So again, the Daiwa Legalis for I don't even know what they cost these days. I'm sure that the cost has probably went up. But I paid about 80 bucks for it, and absolutely fantastic. That's the 2500, and I've got 10-pound J braid on it. So that's what I have there. But yeah, again, guys, what do you guys do during the winter time? Throw it up into the comments, because man, I'm starting to pull my hair up. I'm climbing the walls. I am, like I said, I'm organizing my gear, my pegboard over here. I've got all my lures stacked up. I got a big order from iStrike, all the jig heads. Again, I'm spending money because I can't go fishing. Let me see. United by Water said the Daiwa, is it Excelsior? I'm sorry, the print is really small that I'm looking at. Is an excellent reel for about $100. Yeah, I haven't used that one, but I've heard the same thing. So yeah, that's awesome. Appreciate that. Steve was saying, make your own lures. Hey man, get a hobby. That's what I'm talking about. Um, Wait a minute. United by Water said, I met you at the oyster put in at Christmas. We were the only two. That was me. Oh, I know. Yeah, I know exactly who you are, man. Yeah. Awesome. Great to meet you. Yeah, absolutely. Now it's starting to click. Yeah, man. Yeah, it was great meeting you. Great meeting you. So, yeah, guys, that was it was going to be a shorter show tonight. Again, haven't been out on the water. Is just not a whole lot going on. I wanted to kind of make everybody aware of what's going on up in North Carolina, watch down here in South Carolina too. But yeah, guys, it's cold. Hopefully we can get out in the next week or two. Nobody gave me a thumbs up in the comments that you guys were getting out on the water. So I have to assume that nobody has been getting out on the water. I was going to reach out to Captain Jason Burton to see if they've been running charters, with it being so cold out. So I'll probably shoot him a message and kind of see, if he's been busy. But yeah, guys, if you can, get out, stay warm, bundle up, this is, oh, I don't even know what to say anymore. It's brutal. I am totally over this weather. I'm sure you guys are too. I'm ready for February and this to break so that we can really get into some good fishing. So, guys, we're going to keep it short tonight. I really do appreciate everybody who is who jumped on tonight. Again, if you guys ever have any questions or topics that you want me to cover, just shoot me a message. I think I covered a couple of topics that Tony has messaged me on, and Keith McGee has messaged, some topics. Hey, could you talk about this? I'm more than happy to do that, or bring somebody on that knows about the topic. So yeah, guys, just let me know what you want to do or talk about or listen to or watch, and we'll do that. So guys, that is it. I appreciate each and every one of you. We will do it again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And guys, again, conservation starts with you. Release a fish for someone else to enjoy. And I will see you next week. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.